What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Marvel Rewind here on Apocalypse Movies, as we are here to get into some Hawkeye episode 5 titled Ronin. So rightfully titled here today. It is my first episode here on Marvel Rewind for the Hawkeye edition.
Yay!
Haven't been on here in the previous 3 episodes. It just hasn't worked for my schedule. But these guys
who said you get to host?
These guys have been holding down the fort for me the last couple of episodes. It's been great. Super excited to come on this episode specifically for one big giant reason. But we're going to get to that very, very shortly. With me today is two-fifths of the Apocalypse crew here. One, Brian Avlicino, and one, Gio Ramos. How you doing, gents?
Doing swell. Very excited.
I think giant is an understatement. That he got big, man.
He's huge. He is a large human.
Well, he was always big.
I know, but
we're gonna get to that though. We're gonna get to that. We'll get to that. Maybe that's the first thing we start with, but I don't want to start with that just yet. I want to start with initial reactions because we are getting down to the wire here. We only have one episode left.
That's such a bummer because the show.
Well, there's a reason though.
I know, but still,
we may find out tomorrow for that specific reason. But we've 5 episodes in this series so far. It was slated for 6. Episode 5, where does this kind of fall on the ladder for you guys? Did you like it? Was it the favorite? Let's kind of go into over initial reactions quickly before we get into the deep stuff. Gio, why don't you start us off?
Cool, because I just saw the episode about 15 minutes ago. It's a strategy, guys. Work with me. This is the second episode of this series where from start to finish, I was absolutely in. I was invested. The time flew. The pacing was excellent. Every scene, it was just juicy. There was so much stuff in there. I mean, the interactions with certain characters, I'm sure we'll talk about. The surprises, answers that only give us more questions and whatnot. I mean, this was about as perfect of an episode as you could possibly get with this series. It's right there for me with episode 3.
So is it your favorite?
I don't know, man. I'm really high on episode 3. I mean, just that moment with, the two of them shooting their arrows and then that Pym arrow. I mean, it's up there. I got to rewatch it all again.
Cool. And Brian?
Gio, you basically said everything I thought of, and I completely agree with every single thing that you just said.
Next time you go first. Sorry.
No. It's fine. I'm dead serious. Like, down to the episode thing. I think 3 might still be my favorite, and then this one. But yeah, this is a fun. The show is so good. Like, so it's been so good, and I will not lie. This was probably my lowest expectation show when they announced the slate, and it's for me it knocks WandaVision sometimes. Just so I don't know. I think the thing that you said, Gio, that really resonated to me the most was the fact that it flew by, because I turned it on and then like looked over and it had been 35 minutes and I was like, what? No, that means it's going to end. No. So yeah, this is a great episode.
Yeah, I'm well on record saying this is the best MCU Disney Plus show.
Yes, I wouldn't argue with people that say it.
I've been saying it for a couple weeks now, and I think this episode proved it. It's dealing with stuff that previous episodes have not been dealing, or previous shows that have not been dealing with. Excuse me. It's diving into the psyche of Clint Barton in the best way possible, and the addition of Haley Steinfeld's Kate Bishop has been so fantastic. Their relationship is now one of the best. It's like just one of the best things in the MCU going right now. I really do live for that in this show. But it's also dealing with the stuff with like the stuff with Natasha has been blowing my mind the last 2 episodes. The way that they've had to be able to deal with that. I don't know if this is my favorite. It's episode 3 in this one that kind of teeter back and forth a little bit.
I don't think I wouldn't think anything could be 3 for you because it had a tracking shot.
Well, the tracking shot was absolutely incredible, and I
Yes.
actually watched how they filmed that, and it was even better. But
Jake is
after
like
maybe-
this with the tracking shot.
yeah. If I watch this once or twice, it might end up being my favorite. But right now, it's definitely one of the better ones. And the show is so consistent, which is what I like. Previous like the shows for like WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, Loki, they've all been kind of a little up and down. Like episode here, like even What If too, right? Episode here, liked it, and not this one so much. This one has been very consistent, which I really really like. But let's get into it. Let's get into some specifics, and let's start right off the bat with the opening scene of this episode, which was just a mind bender. We see Yelena get dusted. She was dusted, and not just the way that, or not just that she was dusted, but the way that they did the dusting in this episode, where she dusted and then reappeared right away, was brilliant because that is exactly how it happened for everybody that was dusted. They lost 5 years in 5 seconds. And obviously after Black Widow, we see that she, as well as other Black Widows, are hunting down the widows, and they are trying to release them from their brainwashing, essentially. So they end up in a house with a widow. Everything kind of happens. They talk.
Bougie
she goes to the bathroom. Yeah, and she goes to the bathroom, and the dusting happens. And I don't know about you guys, but I kind of felt like that's where the direction it was headed. Even though it happened, I was like, whoa. Like I still felt watching. I was like, oh, we're probably gonna find out if she's dusted or not right now.
Didn't see it coming from
really.
Nope.
Okay. So, but
Not
you guys like the opening? Like the opening was perfect, right?
Oh, it was phenomenal.
You saw my reaction in our Facebook Messenger chat.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. It was like, it took me back to Interstellar, where like time is passing, but then you realize, given context, just how much time quickly passes and whatnot. I was a little bit thrown off by because I had to remember that Black Widow took place around Civil War time and whatnot. I was just a little, I mean, I'm sure everyone else got it, but for myself, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. And I'm telling you, that little part about them tracking down widows, and that's a Disney Plus show, I mean, in my opinion, but it's just a little tease.
So good.
Yeah.
I am dead serious. It didn't even come into my mind. Didn't even one little bit did I think dust. I don't know why. I must have just been so entranced into the thing that when it happened, I went, what? Like into almost where I was like, was that a dust? That was a dust. She dusted, right? It happened so fast. And then
she blipped, apparently.
Blipped. But
neither here nor there.
Yeah, that I loved it. I love when it ends and then the theme song goes. It's just kind of like, hey, we just blowed your mind. Here's the theme song.
Yeah,
I
very
love
strange
when
transition.
they do that.
I was watching it. I was like, oh, like that's cool, and we're gonna see a little bit of Yelena with kind of what she's been up to, because last time we saw her, she was obviously visiting Natasha at the post-credit scene of Black Widow. But then as the scene goes on, I was like, oh, wait a second. They said 2018. That's when Infinity War happened. Like, could we see if I didn't know if she was, like, I wasn't like, oh, she's going to be dusted. But I was thinking we're probably going to see the dusting happen whether she gets dusted or not. Mm-hmm. Now, it made sense that she gets dusted. And then that the obvious heartbreaking moment where she goes, I need to find Natasha, knowing that she is already gone from all the previous events in Endgame that had happened in that movie. But yeah, it transitions right into what is going on with Kate Bishop and her family and Clint and all that stuff. Let's talk about the one thing that we really want to talk about in this episode, not the thing at the end, but does someone want to bring something up outside of the ending that we can talk about? Gio?
Yeah, on the note of Natasha, I thought Clint's moment with the whole memorial.
Oh my God, yes.
How he took it off and, didn't want to hear anything, just wanted to talk. That was his way of talking to her.
Chills.
One-on-one. And it didn't register until the beginning of our Marvel Rewind episode that the reason why he apologizes is because Natasha is the very reason that Ronin ended, that Ronin went away. And now he's apologizing to her because Ronin's got to come back. You know, it's like a broken promise, but in order to do good. And I just thought, you know, those, again, I'll say it again, the moments of Clint having to deal with Natasha and what happened and losing a dear friend, it's just, for me, those are the moments that are so rich with emotion and just gravitas and whatnot. So
The show's been dealing with PTSD in a way that hasn't been dealt with before,
mhm.
right? It's not like going to war. He's dealing with a death that has affected him immensely.
Mhm.
Like Natasha was half of him essentially. Like they never went to a fight without each other.
Major
Um,
Survivors Guild.
yeah, like it's dealing with something that is very, and it's the wrong term, but it's very cool to see because it's not what we typically see in superhero films, right? It's at the ground level what people are dealing with emotionally. I forgot about the memorial scene, so I'm glad that you brought that up because that was a
I did
very
too.
big
That was
moment.
a good call.
Mhm.
Very big moment because as we see later on in the episode, Ronan does come back in a great fight scene.
Mhm.
Great fight
So
scene.
good.
So good.
Dude, the fact that she used her leg
Uh-huh.
to stop the sword was amazing.
Yeah.
I loved that. And
Well,
I don't think Echo has a
she
prosthetic
does.
leg.
She does.
In the comics?
I don't know
I don't
about
think she does in the comics. I
I'm
think
not sure in the
it's
comics.
just something that this actress had already, and it makes her that much cooler. And I love it because
Alekwa Cox is a badass.
she is
She's
so
awesome.
cool.
Is that her name? Her real
Alekwa
life name?
Cox, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I've become
She's-
more of a fan of her after this
Well,
episode.
she's getting her own show, so you better become a fan.
Now I'm see. So
I love the fact that she is acting without speaking.
What's her eyes?
Everything. It's her eyes. It's her, just how she moves, how she's portraying aggression. Like, I love it. Like, anytime she comes on, like, I get excited. Like, that she's so good. Like, and she's a badass. Like, she is one of my new favorite characters. Like, that I cannot wait, and I could absolutely see why they're giving her a show now.
Yeah, and I want to make sure to everyone watching, we're gonna get to the Kate Bishop / the Elena stuff here in a second, but I want to stay on Echo and Clint and that fight scene and kind of the revelations that came from that. Obviously, leading into the ending, which we'll get to. Look, her whole motive this entire show is I need to hunt down the Ronin because he killed my father.
Yeah.
He was there, and I know there are a lot of theories going around of like, was that actually Clint in the suit when that happened? And it seems to be the case. And as Clint says, he was not supposed to be there. That I got a bad tip. Like, that's not what was supposed to go down. And then he reveals to her, well, like, who gave him the order to be there? Like, who's your boss? And that kind of leads to things that'll end up happening in the finale, I imagine. But her world is essentially crumbling. The whole vendetta that she's had for her entire life is now essentially gone because her focus is now probably shifting. But I agree. I mean, what they're doing with her has been incredible in the small scenes that she's had. They're setting her up to be a very strong character, and utilizing what the actress has in her abilities. They're not like getting someone who can play the role. They're getting someone who is the role. Alekwa Cox, she is deaf. She does have a prosthetic leg. Like, she is that character. So they're utilizing her in the best way possible, and she seems to be totally capitalizing on it and having a blast with it. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about Echo in it because I didn't know how she was going to like fit in with the Hawkeye stuff, but she's fitting in perfectly. And I think it's been an absolute treat to see her character kind of like evolve because she is getting her own show. So it's kind of important.
Yeah, I love her. She's, I mean, everyone knew that they've introduced so far has been just awesome. Like,
she's very Monica Rambeau-ish from WandaVision,
Yeah.
right? Where you kind of just like love her.
Yeah, casting, I think, is the greatest thing Marvel does. Personally, I think their casts are always spot on, and like, they get to literally build this character from nothing. And I mean, they get to build. This actress is going to inspire so many more people that have a disability. I mean, they went into it looking for a deaf, but now they get a deaf and an amputee prosthetic using superhero. So it's just like she's just a badass, and I love her conversations with
Zazie?
no, does it start with a K?
Kazi?
Kazi? What is his alter ego's name? Is it Clown? Clown. That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see when that happens.
Yeah, he's good too, because he doesn't.
He's probably going to be the villain of her show.
Probably.
That's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's subtly used, but when he is, you're just like, you want to punch him in the face.
Well, he's really good with her alone because of the whole sign language thing.
Yeah.
He really gets it, and the characters are very interesting to see. And then learning that Kazi is essentially the number 2 is very interesting going forward on what could happen
when she questions him.
I'm gonna keep that thing lingering out there for everybody watching. We'll get to that. We're gonna get to that. I saw it brought up by Maddie in the chat, so I want to make sure we bring it up. The stuff with his wife, the phone call that happened between the two of them, where he basically said, like, "Look, I have to do this," and she says, "I understand more than anybody." You can tell more than ever, and I love the fact that they brought back Linda Cardellini. I think it's a perfect choice. She's such a good part of this Hawkeye, story, but she is 100% his center, in every aspect of the world. Every time he's done something in the show so far, he's called her, and she has kind of not talked him off the ledge, but just given him the confidence to be like, "You got to do what you got to do."
That was a horrible analogy. What? Talked him off the ledge. Come on, man.
Okay, whatever. He wanted to jump off the ledge himself.
Gio.
But no, I just think the use of her has been fantastic, even though it's just been over phone calls. She's very important to his character. That question of what they know and what they're kind of doing with the watch still lingers out there, but because she seems very involved. But I just think that those small moments between them are very important to this character and the story overall.
For her utilization, like she's not. I mean, she's been in probably a total of 10 minutes of the show, if like that, 5.
Yeah.
Her importance is still felt. Like she is very important to Clint. She is literally his right arm. Like he doesn't make a move without her. And she's just so good. She's so good. I love Linda Cardellini. I am very excited to see, because they're clearly giving her a story, like a background.
Yeah, like what does she know? Is she like I think she's an ex-Shield agent, isn't she?
I think she might have worked for Kingpin.
You think?
Because he said, "I got you out."
See, so, I always took it as her being an ex-Shield agent.
I thought so too, but I'm starting to think that she might have worked for Kingpin, and somehow they got her out, and that's why she says, "We even moved to the middle of nowhere." Like, so Kingpin's not going to look for her in the middle of nowhere. So I don't know. I'm excited. I love the fact that I'm getting a story for a character in the MCU that we've had.
Age of Ultron.
What? I know, but I'm saying, like, in general, like, what has she been around for 20 minutes, 30 minutes? But she's arguably the most important thing to Hawkeye. So it's like, I just love how, like, the little teeny details tell a huge story. That's
for sure
amazing.
Yeah, speaking of Age of Ultron, what's one of the first lines that Tony Stark says? "This must be an agent of some kind."
Agent? Good point.
But again, that conversation makes so much sense, because Ronin only happened because he lost Linda Cardellini, his wife,
entire
family as well. So, and I would imagine that had to have been a very difficult conversation. Look, honey, I know you've been gone. I did some things while I was
Murdered
while you
hundreds
were
of people.
gone. Yep, absolutely. And the fact that it made sense for him to talk to her about it, because now he has to resurrect the Ronin again. And
So cool. So cool.
so yeah.
That suit. I love
As much
that.
as Ronin like murdered people, he's so cool.
Yeah. I love that suit. It's just so clean. It's
I love-
simple, but it's like
I love the
gold.
sword because the sword it's so tactile, but it's like a short sword. So
Mhm.
he's able to use it in different ways.
And it retracts.
It's so badass. Okay, so let's shift gears away from Clint a little bit. Let's talk about some Kate Bishop stuff. So the first time we see her in the episode, Jack, his name's Jack, right?
Mhm.
He's being arrested, and he's trying to play this game of like, oh, you know, it's not me. I'm being blackmailed. Black frame.
Framed.
What the hell, framed. I combined the two. I'm being framed, and this isn't me. And no, I understand if you called the police. Like all this like jib jab. And I have a question for you guys, but I want to get through this real quick. So Kate Bishop tells her mother, like, look, you need to look into her. Whatever you do, I just need you to look into him for me. At the end of the episode, we find out, yes, that's what happened. But I have a question for you guys, because this leads into the later conversation as well. Have you guys had any iffiness on Kate's mom the entire series? Because we haven't talked about it.
Since the get-go.
Okay, I'm just making sure I wasn't the only one.
Since go ahead.
No, she's meeting up with the Kingpin. Yeah. I mean, that's all the confirmation we need.
Spoil the ending, Gio. Why don't you? No, I'm just kidding.
If you're watching this,
has been, I've said from the first episode that we've done on this, he's the red herring.
Yeah.
I think he's telling the truth. When he was like, I'm being framed. Like, he's just like, I know. Like, it'll be like.
And why was he at the black market deal? Like that, I don't think that.
I think he just legitimately wanted a sword, and like, I think he is. You think that he's the mastermind of the?
No, I don't think he's the mastermind, but I think there's something else going on with him.
I
don't think he's innocent.
I think the mom set him up.
I mean, I think that's very possible that in that case, but I don't think he's as innocent of like, oh, I'm being framed. This isn't me. Like, I don't think that's actually the truth. But the focus is 100% on Eleanor. Eleanor, that's her name, Eleanor.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask, because we haven't talked and I haven't been on the show for the first 4 episodes. So I wasn't sure how everyone was feeling about her, if they were suspicious or not, because I had kind of been iffy about her from the very beginning. She had always been acting a little strange.
Yeah.
But in the last 2 episodes, it's been like amplified. And then obviously in this one, she's finally like, okay, I'll look into him.
I think
all 4 of them hiding stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Well, she runs a freaking security company. Like, of course she's gonna be hiding stuff. Okay, so I was just curious. But the next time we see Kate Bishop, we have that incredible conversation with Yelena. Yelena breaks into Kate's apartment as Kate's going there to get her things, and she makes boxed mac and cheese with a bunch of sriracha, just a tub of sriracha, and they have that incredible conversation, and Yelena's kind of filling her in on why she's there, what she is, who she is, and ultimately that she is there to kill Clint. And Kate's like, what? Like, obviously she's very confused in the situation. I love the ending of the episode, but personally, this was my favorite part of the episode. These two sitting at a table talking, because I see a future team up so bad.
This is 100% the new.
It needs to happen.
Gio and I said last week that this is the new Hawkeye and Black Widow.
This needs to happen. Kate Bishop. I love that she kept saying her full name. Kate Bishop.
Florence.
You're funny, Kate Bishop.
Florence Pugh is just amazing.
She's so good. She's so good.
Ridiculous. She is so good. And it's funny because I found Red Guardian annoying, but I love Florence Pugh. And Florence Pugh kind of this episode acted a lot like
100%
Red Guardian.
You have one fork? You have one fork?
Exactly. So
I'm one person.
Yeah. Yelena's hilarious. She's such a good character. Are you done eating so I can put the sauce on it? Like,
yeah. And Kate's just like, are you gonna kill me or?
Yeah. And then I love how she left too. Just out the back window. Out the
Yeah,
window.
just falls.
Go out
Just
the window.
yeah, I'm not going out the front door. I'm gonna fall out the window. No big deal. No big
So
deal.
good.
But no, I mean, look, there was a lot of cool things in this episode, and obviously the ending was very important, and the fight scene between Echo and Clint was also very big. But this was my favorite part. I loved seeing them go back and forth, and it's good to see Yelena back. Obviously, she's going to be very important going forward in the MCU, but we also know that Haley Steinfeld is going to be extremely important as well because she is as big of a name as Florence Pugh is in the movie world. And I know that right now it doesn't seem like there's going to be a team up, but like, come on.
There's going to be a team up.
Come on.
I would love a movie called Hawkeye and the Black Widow.
I think I would much rather see a TV series with the two of them.
Okay, well, either way, something with that name, because that title would just be
maybe they ultimately are the ones taking down Kingpin.
Hey, who knows? Gio, what did you think of the macaroni scene?
First off, sriracha and mac and cheese, yes. Sriracha
Yes,
with
thank you.
anything.
It's so good. It's so good. Yes.
Sriracha with almost anything.
Yes.
Yeah, the conversation, it was fun with an underlining of tension, because of what's going on. And, Yelena was very sure to be like, don't get in my way next time. But it was the kind of conversation that played to Haley Steinfeld's strengths, with the whole weirdness and humor, like
she just sat there like half the time.
Well, I love that. I love that she goes, she was like, are you going to kill me? She goes, no, like I could have killed you. And she goes, right when I walked in. Yeah, you're right.
Wouldn't even have a chance to close the door.
Yeah, exactly. It's so good. It's so good.
It was great. And again, it's a tease of what's to come in the MCU. I mean, you got all these female characters. You got Kate Bishop, you got Yelena, you have She-Hulk, you have Ironheart on the way, and Monica Rambeau and Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, I said Miss Marvel. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, look, it's there's going to be no shortage of female badassery in the MCU going forward, and it's all possible because of ScarJo's Natasha Romanoff. Just putting that out there. So, what?
I love when Kate Bishop goes, "I could have killed you on the roof," and she just laughed.
Oh
She's
yeah.
like, okay.
Do you not know who I am?
Yeah.
But before we move on, this is an interesting question from Jane here. Is she too old to be a Young Avenger, Yelena?
Yeah.
I don't think she is, but I don't think she'll be a Young Avenger.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
I don't think she'll be one.
Well, how old is Florence Pugh in real life? She's
probably mid-20s, mid to high 20s.
Not that it matters. She's 25. No, she's gonna be a Young Avenger.
I don't know if she'll be. Maybe. I mean, look, the possibilities are obviously open. There's a lot of them, right? Like
she's only 25 and she's that good.
I think. Look, it's a lock that Haley Steinfeld, Kate Bishop's going to be one. Like, obviously.
Have you ever seen the meme of her? Someone saying like, "So Haley Steinfeld, Young Avengers," and Feige's behind her.
Yeah.
And he goes.
Well, and she turns to him. Yeah, she turns to him and looks at Feige. Yeah, she's like, "Can I say anything?"
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was great. It was a great moment. Obviously, like Gio said, more to come from these characters. Possibly even in the finale, they might need Yelena's help, which would be really cool. Because she's not going away. She's not going to disappear. I did want to bring up this part. Andy says it's my second favorite part, but my number one was the tracksuits listening to Rum DMC and talking about tracksuits.
The tracksuit mafia is hilarious. They are just that
Run DMC, bro.
They're like that small, simple, stupid comic relief that you like. Like they're not overly used. They're just dumb henchmen. And like when Ronin is taking them all out individually, like it's so good. And I loved that was genius, like thinking because she can't hear him getting taken out.
Well, and it was funny because they did that, and then the gun went off. I go, wait a second, and then I realized, oh wait, she's deaf.
Yep.
Yeah, like she can't hear the gunshot. Duh.
Yeah. I love them. They're just so stupid. Like I love a good stupid character.
Facts.
Oh, 100% they will.
Facts.
Yeah. And she's so in touristy mode too. Like
yeah, she was like, "Oh yeah, I need to see. It's my first time to New York."
Yeah.
You know? And Kate Bishop's like, "Are you serious right now?"
Yeah. It's just so funny. Like that, like I said, like it didn't work for me when Red Guardian did it, but with her for some reason, it's funny. These young actresses just are playing so like natural, like that,
They're
like
playing
natural, nerdy,
Mhm.
like Haley Steinfeld. Like I could literally feel like this is how she would act. Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, when she saves Clint, she calls an Uber.
do you have an escape plan? Are you
For sure, but-
Deborah or whatever the name was?
Yeah.
So stupid.
It's so good. It works so well, though. It
Yeah.
works so well. All right. Let's stop putting off the inevitable here. Let's talk about it. The ending.
Gio,
of this
did you purposely wear white?
Well, he looks like Dom Toretto.
Thank you. I just bought this today. It's really cold in Northern California.
I got your snap. He goes, "I'm getting
Thank
Dom
you,
Toretto
Selvin.
vibes."
Tabitha.
Tabitha,
Are you
that's right.
Tabitha?
Oh yeah, you bloodthirsty vigilante. You're so funny, Kate Bishop. All right, let's put off the inevitable. So what we see at the end of the episode here, before Kate Bishop gets a text from Yelena, we see Yelena following her mother, and as she enters a hotel, and I don't know about you guys, but I had the vibe of like, that's a fancy hotel. Could she be going to see someone?
100%.
And then we cut to Clint, Kate, and Grills, who Grills is a really fun character. Kate gets a text from Elena saying, "I found out who hired me, your mother, Eleanor," and obviously like the world was crumbling for her. And she sends a picture, and Eleanor is standing next to none other than Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin. He is there. It's a blurry image, obviously, because she's doing some snooping and stuff like that. But you get a good enough look. It is Vincent D'Onofrio. He is in his white tux. He also has his cane, which is the first time we've seen that in his version. And we find out that Eleanor is, in fact, working for Kingpin himself. Vinny D is back. He's back. He's back in the world of Marvel. It finally happened. It's here. Gio, I want you to start us off, man. What were your thoughts? What were the thoughts going through your head? The fact that we finally see him on screen inside MCU canon officially.
At last. Thank you, Marvel, for not being stubborn and, oh, it's not in our universe and whatnot. No, you took the best parts of Netflix, and I say parts plural because this now confirms that we're going to see somebody tomorrow night in a certain movie. But
you think it confirms that? I don't know if it confirms, but I'm on the side that's going to happen. Yes.
If Marvel is dumb enough to only include the Kingpin in the MCU, wow, that's like
fair.
Okay, but
Fair.
No, it's happening, and it was a nice tease. I expect we're gonna get a lot of Vincent D'Onofrio in the next episode. Man, okay, it's happening. So I kind of knew it was happening, but to see it,
stop it with your insider BS. Stop it.
oh. I did a video months ago, guys.
I think we all knew it was happening. Real quick, because and Maddie brought this up. I wanted to bring this up. D'Onofrio tweeted this earlier today. Look at the. Oh, you can't. Damn it, you can't see it.
Is that the background?
It's his silhouette. There you go.
Yeah,
yeah.
His body is the sky.
And the tweet says, "When I was a boy."
I love how much they love that they're back. Like,
oh, it's amazing. And I cannot wait to hear Charlie Cox's thoughts. Selvin, by the way, I believe it's happening. I'm just saying, I'm not going to say it's 100%, but I'm saying it is. Like, I believe it's happening. And there's a reason why they put the first 2 episodes out together to make sure that this happened. Absolutely. Yes.
Jake, in the overlay, if you want, I put a high res of the photo.
Boom. Look at him.
I actually, to be honest, I did not notice the cane until you guys said it.
Really?
No.
That was one of the first things I noticed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's one of the first things I noticed, too. Because you see his hand. Look at his hand. His hand is on something.
Oh, it's a cane. It's 100% a cane.
Yeah. Look at that.
Like,
oh, my God. It's so good. It's so good.
It's just, like, it's so cool. See, like,
that's a good question. I imagine he did.
It would take a couple snaps to blip that guy. Savage.
Gio, that might be the funniest thing you've ever said.
Oh my god.
That was
Thanos
good.
had to snap both hands.
Yeah. Oh my god, that is such a good joke. King was so proud. You had slept.
Clip that out.
Oh my god, Yo Mama joke. That is amazing. Your mom was so fat that
Hey,
Thanos
clip
had
this
to
and then
twice.
tag Vincent.
Your mom was so fat they had to snap twice.
Woo.
Oh, John Pedro, you need to get Netflix. I'm currently rewatching them all. Yes, please.
I'm forcing my friends to rewatch Daredevil right now.
So I actually just finished Defenders last night, and I know Defenders isn't held in high regard. I recommend watching them all, whether they're good or bad. But you 1000% need to at least watch Daredevil. 1000%.
Not even for context, it's worth it. Just even if it was its own thing.
Yeah, for sure.
They're great shows. Well, most of them.
But let's get back to Kingpin just for a second, because this obviously has very big implications on what's happening with Street Side New York. As far as Street Side goes, we have certain characters that play in that area. We could possibly see Kingpin evolve to something like Spider-Man. His stories have been very large, very big, and so Kingpin might not fit in that world right now, but it could happen in the future. But for Disney Plus and what they're kind of doing in this side of the MCU right now, the She-Hulks of the world, the Kate Bishops of the world, it completely makes sense that someone like Kingpin could be like the overarching villain for them.
I love the small little things like him owning a car dealership.
Yeah.
Did
you see what the car dealership was called?
Yeah, what was it? I'm drawing a blank on the name right now.
Fat's Used Cars.
Fat
Fatman's Used Cars. Fatman Used Cars.
Yeah, all these like subtle, like there's been many of like just random businesses throughout the last like 2 episodes, and it's like, okay, this guy has his hands.
Well, and so the last time we saw him, he was obviously not in good standing. He had been arrested because of everything that happened in Daredevil and
Marion.
But obviously with the blip, right? Things happen. If he didn't get blipped, there's probably a way he found himself out of prison, right? I mean, things could have happened. We don't know that happened in that 5 years. We'll find out, because it seems like this is just the first of what we're going to see for a long time of Vincent D'Onofrio back as Kingpin. They're going to make sure to milk this character as dry as possible because of how much he wants to be back in this role. Not just that, but the role of Daredevil as well. Selvin, you are the man. Put that show on and watch it. Watch it. Let us know what you think, dude. You gotta let us know what you think. Hit us up and like, I don't care, like episode by episode, whatever. I don't care. Let us know what you think, because the show's amazing.
It's so good.
But look, the story's not going to wrap up in episode 6. There's a lot of stuff to tell with only 1 episode left. There's probably going to be some form of continuation, obviously, because Kate Bishop's not going anywhere. And Kingpin is not going to be done. Maybe it continues in Echo. Maybe it continues somewhere else. Like Gio said, we could get something else that happens tomorrow evening that sets up a lot of stuff in the future as well. How do you guys think this could impact the MCU going forward as far as his story and possibly other characters?
Well, I'm pretty sure, didn't Feige say that episode 6 is a catalyst?
I think the writer or director said that it has huge implications on the MCU, is what they said.
Yeah, so who knows? I'm so excited. Like,
I can't believe it's happening. I've been, the amount of times I've tweeted about Daredevil and Kingpin, like, oh my god. It's just, I remember us all being so bummed when they canceled it. Like, so bummed. And like, please, like, we all want these guys back. Like, when it started, it seemed like a pipe dream. This is happening. They're literally going, yeah, we agree with you. Here's them in the MCU storyline now. I think that's the thing I'm most I'm just so happy. Like, everyone's getting what they want. Like, it's cool.
and I'm just excited to see where it goes. Honestly, like
This is a really good point here by Gordon. I don't think he was blipped because he'd have to be there to tip off Ronin to take out Maya's dad.
Good point. That's a very good
point. It
point.
had to come from him. So there you go.
Connecting
That's a very good point.
Gordon breaking it down for us. That's actually so that means that, I mean, depending on where he was in 2018, Daredevil ended a little bit before that. The blip could have happened and he could have been in prison and he just got out and he had to rebuild himself. And that's maybe how he got a used car dealership, right? Something small, or these small businesses to kind of work his way back up in a world that was halfway taken, and it wasn't the same, which does make sense. And now he has something like a giant security company, like from Eleanor Bishop. He's, again, working his way up with these businesses like he did in Daredevil. That would absolutely make sense.
I just can't. I have the picture open on the side, so I keep glancing at it and it just hits me every time.
I love how they did it too. It's a blurry image, but you just know it's him.
Oh, 100%.
You just know it's him.
It looks like him, but it's
he's also credited in the credits. So,
oh, is he really?
Yeah, he's credited in the credits. Yeah, so it's obviously confirmed. But I'm just saying, it wasn't like seeing Eleanor.
He didn't just walk in.
Yeah, it's just a picture of him setting up number 6, right? Now we're into it. We're getting into it.
I wish I could have had a camera on Jacob as the picture popped up, because he probably went, "No way!"
No. He said, "Oh my goodness."
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Kevin Feige is a madman. He had this plan the whole time.
Yeah.
You had to think the plans for Disney to do a streaming service had to have begun sometime around the first Avengers movie, and it's something that took years to develop. And the moment Kevin Feige saw the Daredevil seasons, he was like, "Oh, this is great. This is all going according to plan." Like Palpatine, everything's going according to plan. And boom, it's okay, we got our Disney Plus, we got our Marvel. It's really 2 MCUs. It's the MCU and the movies, and the MCU and the Disney Plus. And it's the perfect time, the perfect opportunity, everything lined up to take the characters, the great ones, the ones that fans love, and put it in there. It's huge fan service. As a DC enthusiast, I'm happy for you guys. I'm just, man, we got it good. Y'all got it good. I'm a part of it too, but man.
You get to enjoy it as much as we do.
Sure.
Tomorrow, I can't wait for you to just be like, "I knew this, I didn't know this, but I knew this."
I'm elbowing whoever I'm sitting next to and be like, "Got it."
You're gonna sit next to Jacob, and he's gonna be pissed off if you elbow him. So, no, I mean, look, we talked about it. I think we talked about it 2 weeks ago. Gio, you weren't able to make it that night. I know you messaged about being on that conversation about how, when Charlie Cox was confirmed, it almost felt like it was the one rock coming through the floodgate that was going to open the doors for everything. Him being confirmed was definitely the case, but now seeing D'Onofrio back is almost like the floodgates legitimately opening, and the possibilities are truly endless on characters that we could see return. If D'Onofrio returns, we could see Kristen Ritter return as Jessica Jones. We could see Mike Coulter back as Luke Cage. I know Colleen
today.
Say it again.
Who was confirmed today, or not confirmed, but there were 2 other characters, right?
From Netflix?
Yeah.
You posted it, Jake, on your Instagram. The rumor of
Karen Page and Foggy Nelson. Yeah, it's the Daredevil world. Yeah, I think the Daredevil world is probably the one they're going to pull from the most.
It makes sense. I really hope they bring back the guy that played Bullseye, because he was great.
Well, that story's not finished. That story absolutely is.
Yes.
I'm just saying, I don't want a different person. That guy was fantastic.
Vanessa.
For sure. I think if you bring Kingpin back, we have to finish the Vanessa story as well. But look, the floodgates are now open. The possibilities are truly endless. Before we wrap up, another question that might be interesting to talk about: is he the power broker?
Oh shit!
Yeah.
There were conversations about it, but now that he's in the actual universe,
even think
is he the power broker?
Gotta be.
right?
I didn't
Gotta
even
be.
think of that.
Like I said, and that only supports the idea that he wasn't blipped, that he took advantage of those 5 years to
Exactly.
build.
That's
Exactly.
wow. Wow. Didn't
Could
even
Sharon
think of that.
Carter? Could Sharon Carter be working for the Power Broker, and it being Kingpin? Or could Sharon Carter be the Power Broker working for Kingpin?
Yeah, that because wasn't she the? Yeah, I think that's.
She might be the Power Broker who has a boss, and that boss is Kingpin.
Yeah. Oh my god, because it would make sense because
the art,
Kingpin's big thing is art.
The art,
and she had an art gallery.
Yep, she sure did.
Damn.
Kingpin's always got his hands in art.
You heard it here first. Exclusive Apocalypse movies. Make sure you tweet, give us credit.
Holy crap, that's right, because that's how he always like hides all of his valuables and stuff, his art.
I wonder. No, here's a bigger question. What country were they in Falcon and Winter Soldier? What country?
Who?
Oh, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Where was Sharon? Where do they find Sharon?
Madripoor.
Where was Vanessa sent? Overseas?
Did they ever say?
I don't remember.
I'm wondering if she was if they
sent her to Madripoor, they couldn't.
Well, I don't think they ever confirmed. I don't think they ever said publicly, but if they could retcon and essentially say they sent her to Madripoor, I mean, and then that's how you connect Daredevil to the MCU. Like,
dang. Apocalypse, you heard it first.
But then everything else would have to be connected to the MCU, right? That negates their ability to pick and choose, right? Because then Iron Fist would be connected.
Technically, but what you could honestly do is you could end up recasting someone like Iron Fist. You really could.
Yeah, you could easily get
and you can essentially just say like his story's happened and then go somewhere and just move his story in a different direction. Like it's happened before.
And there's different Iron Fists.
Yeah, and that is also very true. I mean, they would do Danny Rand.
Yeah, that would be the only bummer.
But they would absolutely do Danny Rand. But you could, in a way,
they've done it with Hulk.
I think Iron Fist 2, the season 2, didn't that come out in like 2017? That was like five years ago.
It was a while ago.
So you could say in the last 5 years, like things have happened, and we're just moving on from it. Like
not to mention, in January or February, they're introducing in the comics a new Iron Fist. So
yeah, I do think that whenever they do him, it'll be Danny Rand because he is the popular one, and they probably want to do the character right. But the possibilities are definitely endless. So, well, we are cracking the code here on Marvel Rewind and Apocalypse, everyone. Sharon could be posing as the Power Broker so Kingpin can stay in the shadows. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she'd be one of his heads.
So I have a question for you guys, real quick. So if Eleanor Bishop was the one. Huh?
Sorry, we're looking at Maddie's comment.
Maddie said
apparently she went to Spain, so they could have met though. They could have met.
Spain's on the way. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, there goes that theory. But so Eleanor Bishop was the one who hired Yelena.
Yes.
Where does Val fit into all of this?
She works for Kingpin. I called that last week with you.
Yes. And she wants to put and Kingpin wants to put together a dark group of characters. Essentially,
probably
led by this guy.
Yep, that's exactly. He wants all the bad versions of the good versions. Mm-hmm. What she's gonna find out that Yelena is not a bad version. She's gonna be a good version.
You know who I'm interested? What I'm curious is, There
we go. Theory back on board.
What was the name of the person that crap, what was his name in Ant-Man and the Wasp that the guy was trying to buy stuff for?
Oh, Walter Goggins' character.
But what was he trying?
I don't think they ever revealed who he was working for.
I know, and that's why I'm
he was working for Kingpin.
There's so many. They could do so much stuff. Like characters who were.
But like Gio, back to what you were saying earlier. Like, what if Feige, like 5 years ago, basically said like, this isn't going to happen for a while, but make that character work for Kingpin without actually saying he worked for Kingpin.
Yeah.
And I remember all of these these conversations and theories we've had of like, oh my God, they're working for Norman Osborn. Oh my God, they're working for this person. What if it's just all been Kingpin? Everything.
Hey, that's very possible given the 5-year gap. Okay, like
What
they're
is
not
happening?
only setting up the future, but they're also filling in the gaps. In
That's the
between.
wildest thing.
That's
Bruh. I need a
that's
beer
brilliant
after this. Oh my
storytelling
God.
right there.
This
Give
is
credit where
this is
credit's due.
wild. Oh my God. I'm losing it. I got the shivers. I'm just
Black market dealer.
Wait till tomorrow. Jesus. Man.
Yeah,
I
tomorrow's I'm gonna melt away in that theater tomorrow.
It's
yeah,
just been so fun.
And it was Charlie Cox's birthday today. What the hell?
Oh man.
Time.
It's
man.
just it's
Gordon,
just
Gordon, I need that song sung by him.
it was Kingpin all along.
along.
It was me all along.
Oh
I
my
just
D'Onofrio.
Oh my God.
I need to see him punch someone, just beat someone to death. One of the tracksuit people.
It's gonna be Jack. No, it's gonna be Jack. He's gonna visit Jack in prison. They'll be like, "Hey, you got a visitor." Jail cell opens. He turns around like Lex Luthor to Batman. He's gonna be standing there, and instead of punching the wall, he's actually gonna punch his face in.
Yeah, something. The reveal of him coming next episode. Oh my! I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose. It's physically seeing him back with the white suit, the cane, that voice, just everything.
Yeah,
oh,
they're treating us very well right now.
All right, before we wrap up, one last question for Maddie here leading in tomorrow. Real question for tomorrow night. Do we hear Hero by Chad Kroeger?
Oh, dear God, no.
Probably not, I would
no,
say.
you're gonna get the theme songs.
I think we'll hear the original themes. The Danny Elfman theme from Sam Raimi is what we'll hear. We'll hear the Amazing Spider-Man theme, and they'll be weaved in when those characters show up. Because they are showing up.
Yeah.
Facts. No, we don't know. We haven't heard anything.
We don't know for 100%.
We're just saying it's happening.
Yeah.
And we're going to be excited AF. So.
Oh, man.
Stay tuned, everybody, because it's going to be a wild time here on Apocalypse for the next week with all the Spider-Man coverage, all the characters, Hawkeye wrapping up next week. Obviously, next Tuesday is going to be full Spider-Man No Way Home breakdown. Spoilers, just full-blown discussion on everything that happened in that movie. And then Wednesday, we'll be covering Hawkeye's finale. We'll make sure to do it as early as possible, probably aim for Wednesday. And who knows, maybe we get
Andy, screw you.
Go away, Andy. Go away. Just go away.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It already released overseas.
Because he's in the friggin' future. That's why.
He's in the future. He's in Australia.
Future. Hate you, Andy. Hate you. Thank you for those Tim Tams, but I hate you.
Said more Tim Tams.
No. Yeah, stay away from the spoilers, everybody. Keep high and dry from those things. We're going to be back on Tuesday for Apocalypse Now to cover everything that is No Way Home. And then again on Wednesday for Rewind as we wrap up on Hawkeye. And maybe we do a little bit of a later show so Jacob can be on, but we're not guaranteeing that. But it will be, in fact, on Wednesday. So we can cover it as soon as possible since there's going to be quite a bit to talk about.
What a fun couple weeks we got.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be absolutely crazy. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I see that there's 16 of you. You guys rock. This is one of the biggest numbers we usually have.
Ever.
So thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you're not part of it already, hit that subscribe button. We have crazy theorizing fan geek out shows like this all the time. And it's been an absolute blast. And all of you guys who join every single week, we appreciate you guys. So again, until next week, hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy Spider-Man No Way Home. We hope you guys have fun with it, and we will be talking about it next week. Bye, guys.